Hello, you guys. I'm back to do your weekly energy reading. This is the week of March 10th through the end of the week, whatever that is. So I know some of you had a hell of a weekend. I totally get it. There's just a lot that's in transition right now, so please do not feel like it's the end of the world or it's the end of the rope. It might feel like it's the end of the world right now. It might feel like the roof is on fire, so to speak. But it's really just a transitional period to help move you into a place that's much better for you in the long run. I know that's easy for me to say, not knowing what each one of you is going through, and you might be going through some really serious stuff. So please do know that it's really all about pushing your soul forward in its evolution, okay? And if you ever feel that you need any help, you can always comment on my videos. There are lots of people who have gone through it and would love to talk to you about it. You can always reach out to me as well. My emails are getting more and more crazy, so I'm not always able to answer, but I do when I can. And of course, always remember that you have your own network of support around you, even if you don't think you do. Most people actually have a lot of individuals that truly care about them, and they just don't realize it, or don't realize that, that channel of communication is actually open. So do use that if you are really struggling, okay? Some of you did fine. Some of you did not have such a traumatic, energetic weekend. I feel like, for me, it involved a lot of healing and a lot of releasing of dense energies, I guess. Really, for me, it came down to getting back into the inner child work and getting back to parental wounds. This morning I found this amazing video on the mother wound, which I would definitely recommend. I actually posted it on my Facebook page, so you can find me as Emily Gear, Transformative Energy Healer, if you want to look it up. But it was an amazing explanation of the mother wound and how that affects our perpetual unhappiness, I think is actually what the title said. And, for me, it was a very powerful thing to watch. And it actually moved me right through a very brief moment of grieving my childhood, where I was sort of pushed into being an adult at the age of 7. So I never got to naturally work through childhood in the same way that most kids do, or we hope that most kids do. And I also considered my relationship with my mom, which for all intents and purposes is good, or even great at times. But, just life has a way of, when people are wounded, they pass their wounding on to other people, and parents parent from their wounded selves. And so, it's tough to get out of this life without that kind of wounding, is kind of my point. Okay, anyway, so that's what I went through, and certainly some of you probably did as well. Do look that up if it is resonating with you, if you feel like that might be useful. But we're going to go ahead and get some cards for the week ahead to see what's coming up for us energetically in the collective, okay? So we'd like some cards for the energies of the week ahead. What are we looking forward to in this coming week, please? This is the Wild Unknown Tarot, by the way. Ah, well, something new is beginning. We've got the Ace of Wands, and it looks shiny and new. It looks super energetic, super powerful. New growth happening on that wand. So let's see what else comes out. That is great. And honestly, after weeks or weekends of Son of Cups, this is like the Knight of Cups coming in with the Swan. So maybe this could be an additional message for any people working with divine compliments. There's that swan, which is that image of, or that symbol of the divine complements. But let's see what else comes out here before I say too much about that. Oh, so I was saying new beginnings come after destruction, after tower moments, after difficulty. What else for this coming week? Tell us what we have to look forward to, please. Just feeling this really overwhelming emotion coming from this card here, that you may have something that you want to share or speak about. Someone else may have something that they want to share or speak about. The Mother of Swords coming up, communication, movement forward with, emotionally charged communication, potentially with the Son of Cups coming up here. What else is coming up this week, please? So I'm just trying to flip. Okay, I'm going to stop here. All right. Yep, Ace of Cups with the Eight of Cups. So this is kind of moving away from the things that didn't serve you. Here's that dark mountain, that thing that was a blockage for you, and this is stepping away from that and making a choice towards something that is more fulfilling for you. And coming out with it here is the Ace of Cups, that new thing that you love, whatever it is, moving toward that new fulfillment. In some ways this is discarding the broken, I was going to say discarding the broken trash. But in the case that we're talking about a human being here, please do not get offended by that. That was just what kind of came through at that moment. But, it is about walking away from that which is not working for us anymore. What's a broken cup going to do for you? Nothing, right? It doesn't hold anything. What isn't holding water for you or wasn't holding water for you? And I feel like, it's like those glasses have been smashed and now you're moving toward that one big cup. You know what I mean? What is it in this one big cup, right? What is that thing that you're passionate about? And it's almost like here's the passion. It's like giving you that new beginning to move toward it. The only movement we have showing up here, though, is the Son of Cups. And he can be a little bit dreamy at times. And he can be a little bit unfocused is the word that's coming through. So do keep in mind if there is something coming up that you just are kind of wishing for or dreaming about or whatever, that you might be a little bit in that dreamy energy, and that's okay. But if you really want to be moving there, then you might have to channel some of this Wands energy of moving forward, of passionate movement, of energy. With this Mother of Swords coming up, it's kind of like there's this balancing going on of energies. So the ending with the beginning these are very balanced energies, okay? Because we have the newness, the wholeness of this new beginning, and here we have the broken pieces of the dark, the light and the dark together. This really does feel like coming through the other side of the dark night of the soul. We've been talking about the dark night of the soul for a while. Many of you have been going through it, so you might be feeling this week a little bit more lightening up of the energies, okay? If there's anything residual that needs to be removed from your life because it's no longer serving you, this dark night would have shown you what that is, okay? And this is your opportunity to go ahead and make that choice for yourself in your own defense. I'm hearing the words, in your own defense, something. So whatever that is for you, it's a final opportunity to kind of, there are always opportunities to make the changes that you need in your life, but these energies are incredibly supportive of that, as you might have noticed. All kinds of things have been removed. And it's like it's this mountain that's removed. It's the mountain, the blockage that's getting out of the way. That blockage might come in the form of a relationship or a job or, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something. or even an emotional blockage. It could come in the form of anything, but that has now been crushed, removed in favor of the new. Continue to make those choices in favor of yourself, in defense of yourself. I feel like this came out originally as communication, and I do feel like this is some kind of emotional communication that needs to happen. This could be within you, all right? With the cups showing up here, this is not necessarily external. Could be internal. It could be that simple communication with yourself, and that loving communication with yourself, bringing yourself that cup of self-love, right? This does not specifically speak to me about the inner child, but I am getting a little bit about the inner child here, talking to that inner child, and it could be because that was how this came about for me in general, was to have that conversation with the inner child and share that love. And for me, it was reminding or telling my inner child that she did an amazing job as a kid trying to be an adult. And it's like I've lived my entire life not realizing or feeling inadequate, because how can a 7-year-old really operate as an adult? You don't know how, and you just like clumsily move along, trying to do your best, trying to make your parents happy or whatever, whatever your situation might be. Trying to learn how to care for other people, and you're not equipped for it. There's no way you could do it right. You know what I mean? Like, you're not equipped for it. And as logical as that sounds, it's like I had to have that conversation with my inner child and say, Emily, you were amazing as a kid. I love you so much, is what I had to say to that little girl, because she was forever being judged or felt judged, and then learned to judge herself. And so that's what I have been doing ever since then, is judging the shit out of myself about everything from my leadership ability to my artistic ability to how I freaking do jujitsu. You know what I mean? Like, from the like day-to-day work, must do this to survive, to what I do for exercise. I judge myself in all of it. And why? Because I learned to judge myself at 7 years old, or younger, but definitely by 7. Anyway, so not to keep harping on my own story, but I feel like some of you are in that same place. It seems to be helpful anytime that I go there with you guys. So that's one of my mountains that I moved, one of my glasses I smashed, in order to get this new cup of self-love to start over again, and filling that cup and reminding myself of one of the biggest loves that matters, and that is my own love of myself. The rest of it comes in after that. All right, so let's get some more. This is what we were looking forward to this week. Let's ask, what additional shifts should we expect this week? Okay, what additional shifts? A lot of cards. All right, we're going to go with these that turned up. Excuse me, upright. Okay, so the first one that came out was the Two of Wands, and I heard something like, I'm coming out. Is what I heard. So I feel like, the 2 for me is typically either planning or picking away, right? Choosing a direction. And I feel like, this is you or someone else really choosing a direction that they're going to go in. They're coming out, you know, and openly moving in a specific direction. This is probably you, because that's how my readings typically go. So you might be coming more, something's coming in broader focus or in greater focus for you. I'm seeing how these are converging at the top here. Something comes into focus and you're able to make a choice in a more, what is the word I'm looking for? Just a more profound fashion. This is like a more commanding choice, right? You're sure about it now. And here's the Emperor showing up as well. This is you knowing what you're about, okay? Standing strong, knowing what you're about. Planting this, the planted seeds here grow into a tall tree. And this sun feels eclipsed right here. It's almost like the energies, we didn't just go through an eclipse or anything like that, but it felt like one. It was an incredibly powerful set of shifts that energetically came to us, and I do feel that, you know, they have assisted us in growing into this tall tree, right? Given us the capability, I guess, or open the door for us to make this more definite choice, okay? Choose this path into growing into our authentic selves, okay? The Emperor is your authentic self. It's your authentic masculine, but it's also structure, and it's also power in a sense. And so I feel like this powerful forward motion, which makes sense with the Ace of Wands coming up here. So this is one of the shifts taking place this week. You're going to be moving toward what is here the Nine of Cups. I just needed to make sure, because for some reason this card feels really, it feels like it should be the Eight of Cups for some reason, but it is the Nine. And so that is like, this feels almost to me like wishing on a star. It's like you start to manifest your dreams, and it comes up here with the moon. And contrary to what I usually feel with the moon, what I'm feeling here right now is kind of these two cards mirror each other so much. Like you can see they look very similar, right? They mirror each other. These two, and the moons. And so again, I'm feeling like this feeling of sending your intentions out to the universe, sending your intentions out to the moon. There is a full moon coming up. I don't think it happens this week, though. Trying to think. No, it probably happens early next week, okay? But that is coming in, and so you should be thinking about what your intentions are, because that's what you're going to be manifesting and growing and building. Building is kind of the key word for the Emperor here. Then we get the Six of Pentacles with the Mother of Pentacles. That is, to me, extremely grounded energy, extremely balanced energy. This is something about... This is something about self-care, actually, is what's coming through for me right now. I'm feeling, and maybe it's because the deer, to me, has always been a symbol of being gentle with yourself, okay? And this is all about balance. This is all about balance. And so it's like balancing out this chaotic energy that we've just made ourselves through by being gentle with yourself and knowing your own worth, right? That's what comes up for me with the Queen of Pentacles so often. So, so there's growth here, and you are choosing a direction, but I also feel like in some ways this is a week of rest after the chaos of last week, stepping into the sort of manifestation period coming up near the end of this coming week. okay, with the moon, the full moon energies that are going to be showing up usually 3 days before or after a full moon. Okay, so if the full moon, I feel like it's the 19th, it might be the 19th or 20th, so 3 days plus or minus that. Be expecting more transitions. Be expecting to take care of yourself and to give yourself some self-care and some quiet time, some balancing time, okay, some rest time in during this week. I think there's anything else. I do feel like even though these are some of the shifts, some of the things we need to be expecting coming up, that there's a huge amount of this energy coming in. It's the first card that came out, so it's the strongest energy in this whole reading. It's so in the midst of this, it is important to have this self-care. This direction is the word that just came up. So this is like a direction, very, very purposeful direction. All right, and I'm just hearing the word the store bank, the banking of the intentions. All right, so you might not be thinking these in your conscious mind 24/7, but bank them in your subconscious so that you are constantly then manifesting those dreams, those wishes, okay? And this also is the subconscious mind, actually. So now that has come out, that makes a lot of sense. Putting your wishes into your subconscious, because you're always manifesting whatever's in your subconscious, which is why it is so important to work on those mother-father wounds, all the wounding that we have from this lifetime and past lives, because where does it live? It lives in your subconscious, and it keeps bringing itself out into your day-to-day physical life because it doesn't know another way. Like, that's just what it does. It doesn't understand no, it doesn't understand negatives, it doesn't understand time. You may have received that wounding 2,000 years ago in another lifetime, and it is stored, and it doesn't, it's still like, it is always the present for the subconscious. So anyway, that's why it's so important to get into this energy of walking away from those, or walking away from those blockages. Okay. What else do we want to know? Let's get some advice. We've gotten a lot of information about the energies and what's going to be happening with us, but let's get some advice for this coming week, please. Advice for the collective, for the energies this coming week. Okay. The Hermit. This is the perfect animal for go within. Right? He goes inside his own house, which is himself, and he stays in there whenever the going gets tough. So you've been through a lot of the tough, all right? You might have been within this past week, but now it's time to go back within to get some of this self-care and rest, to choose your direction forward, right? And to enumerate the dreams that you want to bank in your subconscious. I'm hearing that it'd be important for you at this time to write a list. And the key to writing that list is being specific, but not so specific that you are limiting yourself too much, okay? The other key, in my opinion, to manifestation lists is to write them out, read it over, do whatever ritual you want, or say a prayer, or send, Reiki energy to it, whatever you want to do in that sense, then put it away and don't obsess over it. Because when you keep thinking about it and obsessing in your mind, sorry, somebody sent me a text and that just distracted me. When you think about it in your mind, you start the push-pull on the actual ability of that thing to manifest in your life. You start putting your own details into it, and you get in the way of the universe bringing it to you. Is basically what happens. So you want to make sure you get out of the way of the universe by putting it away. Okay? You can also write affirmations. Now, those you might want to read every single day and program your subconscious to believe those affirmations. So, whatever that might be, it might be as simple as I love myself, or it might be, something a little more complicated. I find that the simpler and bigger the idea, the better. Okay, so I love myself, the universe loves me, those are perfect. Okay, so that is what your advice is for this week, to go ahead and do those kinds of things. Go within and look at any other mountains that need to be cleared. Okay, because we're moving forward quickly, beginning this week. I mean, we have been moving forward quickly, but here's another ignition. This is ignition, Let's get some advice for divine compliments with these true love reading cards that I have. Okay. For any of my divine compliments watching, that's twin flames, divine counterparts, can be high vibrational soulmates. Let's go there too. Because who really knows what all this stuff means? Who really knows? Nobody. If they pretend they really know, they don't know. Okay. So, high vibrational soulmates, divine compliments. For this week, please. Energy for this week. Whoa! Alright, this is way too many. See if it wants to give me a third. Well, two. Okay. The first one, actually this is the first one that came out. It is boundaries. That makes a ton of sense when we're talking about self-care. Sometimes boundaries are important, okay? Boundaries in the physical plane, boundaries on the energetic plane. Though you may be connected on the energetic plane in the 5D, even all the way down to the 3D, you do have to respect the sovereignty of another person, okay? You want to make sure you're not draining their energy and you're not imposing your agenda on them. And that's so important in this connection because you are so connected by energy. You may be sharing thoughts, you may be sharing emotions. And so sometimes it's important to step outside of that shared connection and take a moment to regain yourself. It's important to keep your own identity intact and protect any drain on your energy. Now, ideally, if you're both, awakened and evolved people, that's not happening to begin with, but let's be honest, not everybody is. So, and they might not understand what's happening. That's kind of been my experiences. They don't always understand what's happening, and so therefore they end up pulling your energy, not knowing where they're pulling it from, okay? So boundaries are important at this time, just in order to give yourself in them a rest, give them a rest from your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, all that kind of stuff. Next, resolving conflict. This came out in the pick a card reading, actually, that nobody knows this yet because I haven't posted the reveal yet, but it will come out in the pick a card reading on the Facebook page, which I do every Monday. Resolving conflict. There is a lot of forgiveness energy, I feel, that needs to happen. That is important for both you and them in moving forward. Some of the conflicts I feel are ego-based and not real conflicts at all. Like, they could literally be solved if you simply decided to forgive and solve the conflict, okay? So it's really that simple in some situations, and you have to go, place in the forefront love, empathy, compassion, and understanding, and you will be able to clear up some of the misunderstandings that have been occurring, whether you know about them or not. If you are in a divine connection, you will know that these are occurring whether you are physically aware or not. You're feeling them. You're feeling them occur in your energy because you're bouncing back and forth off of each other, triggering, and those are energetic misunderstandings. Basically, they do help you to heal, so they do serve a purpose. But you can resolve so much of that, even just internally, by focusing inward again on yourself, with the Hermit card coming up, and healing those internal traumas, okay, that internal wounding. That does so much to resolve this conflict between people when you simply go within and resolve your own inner wounding. Sexual freedom came up, and I think that, I'm getting a lot of like this here, the Kundalini energy at the base of the spine is like the blossoming of a flower, right? And the same with the sacral chakra energy. It sort of is like a blossoming flower as well, the red and the orange chakras, first and second chakras. So those are your base chakras, and they are kind of like the origin point of any of that sexual energy. And that has definitely been super active the last couple weeks. I think most people have noticed that. So I think that this kind of goes back to, it actually goes back to these cards as well, boundaries and resolving conflict. So much of this, like, the barriers in our sexual channels come from wounding in childhood, and that's sort of what I'm feeling through this. A lot of what I'm feeling through this conflict card is conflict that's created by those kinds of boundaries. And so this week, clearing many of those boundaries, clearing those mountains out, can really free that energy, free that creative force, free that attractive force, because it is highly attractive. Not in the sense of, like good looking or something, but it's like it is attractive as in it like pulls things in toward it, okay? That energy does when it is free flowing and healthy. There may be sexual boundaries that need to be set as well, just to combine it with this card. It would seem to be in opposition to the idea of sexual freedom, but true freedom comes out of authenticity. And so if you are engaging in this way with other people outside of your authenticity, you are actually doing yourself harm. You're not being sexually free, you're being sexually irresponsible. And so within a divine relationship, there's really no room for that. I'm going to be totally honest. There's no room for that. So there's only room for the authentic. And so make sure you're in your authenticity, whether it's, you're doing this with another person, or you are stuck in a cycle with your divine complement. It can be like that, where you may be divine complements, but you are stuck in a toxic cycle because you are stuck on a certain part of the healing journey. You're stuck in a specific trauma, and this is pointing to that, okay? And it can be on the sexual level. So keep that in mind if that's where you are with this, that it's time to clear that out so that you can move forward. The silver waterfall came up, and I have to be honest, I have no idea what this card means. With the waterfall and the swans and the birds coming up, I am getting this feeling of emotional release and emotional cleansing, and the addition of joy. But I am going to look it up, actually, because that's just the feeling that I'm getting there. Let's see. Many people feel that they are always picking up on other people's negative energy and want to know how to protect themselves from this unpleasantness. They perceive the negativity to be out there and believe that if they could shield themselves from it, they would feel better. The truth is that we all carry negative and positive energies, and we all have times in our lives when we feel low. To feel truly lovable and abundant, you need to be able to engage with whoever and whatever comes to you without feeling like you need some form of defense. You not only does your aura or personal energy field experience the highs and lows of everything that's going on around you, so does your nervous system and all the cells of your body. You're like a finely tuned instrument, and that is constantly testing the atmosphere for anything unusual, unfamiliar, or threatening. It's all out there, but barricading yourself against the world is not the solution. The best way to stay balanced and healthy in a busy world is to raise your own vibration in as many ways as possible. This means eating nutritious food, looking after your body with rest and exercise, feeding your mind with uplifting material like beautiful music, books, movies, and regular contact with nature, and cleansing yourself at the end of the day. So I'm not going to keep reading just because there's a lot here, but I feel, just the idea of cleansing and joy, keeping your vibration high is what that book just said. So I guess the picture did kind of lead us in the right direction. And joy is one of those highest vibrations. Joy actually came out in the pick a card reading today as well. So we are totally on track here. And I feel like integrating that energy of joy and unconditional love into our lives helps to chase off that negative crap. And that's a lot when you're working on resolving conflicts, and you may need to set boundaries with negative situations, okay? I feel like, bringing this kind of energy in helps to raise your vibration so that you can continue to attract in more positive stuff in your life, more positivity. Don't forget the idea of self-care, which we talked about earlier, coming up this week, this sort of balancing self-care, be kind to yourself kind of idea, okay? I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm going to try to make sure my Mondays are energy updates for the week. And do follow my Facebook page and my Instagram. And if you would like to schedule a session with me, you can do that on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. In addition, I am uploading at least one recorded reading option, which is less expensive than a live reading with me, so that might make it easier for some of you to get a reading done, okay? I hope this is helpful. Again, please let me know in the comments. Please hit subscribe. Please hit like. I appreciate you so much, and talk to you soon. Bye.